What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. It's Ars. Let's get productive. So, first of all, I want to say I hope you're all doing well. This Omicron thing is getting kind of crazy out here. So I hope that you all are doing well, your families are doing well, and you're all taking great care of yourself. If any of you are on lockdown, I know you are dying for some new content right now, and I have something great, something new that I wanted to bring to this channel because it's something that I don't see a lot of people talking about. Yeah, I know I like to bring plugins and VSTs to this channel that I think deserve more light and deserve to be spoken about a lot more. That seems wrong. So the plugin that I wanted to talk about today comes from Thephonoloop. Now, these guys create really dope sound libraries for Contact. So whether you have the free version of Contact or you have the paid version of Contact, you obviously will be able to use this instrument. But the one in particular that I wanted to highlight from Thephonoloop is Tape.01. Now, this thing has been around for a little while, and I've seen it pop up on my IG feed a few times. I've seen it pop up in Facebook ads a few times, and I just never got around to really checking it out. And so I recently did check it out, and I'm blown away by the sounds, the textures, the uniqueness of all of the different genres of sound categories within this Contact library. You have everything from pads to keys to just unique tape textures and all these different kind of things that we're gonna jump into in a second. But I really wanted to bring it to this channel because I think it's something that you guys may not have checked out yet, but you will have a lot of fun with if you give it a shot. So we're gonna talk a little bit about Tape.01 from Thephonoloop. Without wasting any more time, let's get right into it. Tape.01, let's do it. So as always, I have Logic queued up, and this is Tape.01 by Thephonoloop. Now, before we dive into the UI and everything that's happening on the screen here, which I automatically think is really cool, I can't wait to show you guys what this thing can do because it's super fun. But before I dive into the UI and go over, the look of it and everything that's happening on it, I want to talk a little bit about what Tape.01 actually is. It has a lot going on inside of it, so I thought it would be a little bit easier to just jump to the website and read a little bit of what's happening with this VST right off of the website. It says here, Tape.01 focuses on synth sounds and sound synthesis in general. The sound sources were created using various hardware and software synthesizers and effects, from digital FM and physical modeling synths to both analog and digital Eurorack modules and synths. Everything was recorded either on tape, cassette, microcassette, or cassette tape loops. Now, that part right there is very important because the fact that every sound in this thing was recorded either to cassette, microcassette, or cassette tape loops really informs the texture, the warmth, and the sound of every single instrument in this VST. And you're gonna hear it for yourself. But let's just jump right into this thing and see what it is we're working with and see what makes this thing so unique. Now, if you take a look right here at the UI, just looking at it, you automatically get an old school, warm, lo-fi, vintage kind of feel from the aesthetic. It has kind of a construction paper look to it. The background has this kind of turquoise hue to it. And as you can see right here, all of the different waves, it looks like it's written on paper. It looks like someone took a pencil and kind of shaded in the wave files, which I think is really cool looking. You have two pages. You have a main page that kind of simplifies what it is you're doing. And then if you click up here where it says view change, you can go into the details and really dive in, get real crazy with your edits, get real unique with all of the different settings and parameters within this thing. I like keeping it on the main page most of the time because I just like keeping it simple. But for all you guys out there that love LFOs and all of the different modulations, you have a second page where you could really go to work and just take a sound that's already dope and evolve it and take it to a whole nother level. Now you have two different sound banks here. You have sound bank A and sound bank B. And in sound bank A, you can click it. You can go through all of the different types of sounds here. Now you have everything from simple to complex to soft to sharp, FM, warm. You can highlight these different categories to help you select the type of sound that you're looking for. You go over here to sounds, and you have pages of sounds. All of these different categories that you could click if you want to dive in and change the different sounds in the different sound banks. Or obviously you can come up here to the top and go through your presets. You have basses, keys, explorations, leads, moments, pads and drones, sequence, short, stuck in a loop, synth, and tape loops. Now tape loops, stuck in a loop, explorations, these are all very unique sounding instruments. The way they combine textures and sounds and loops to give you a really unique sound of preset is second to none. Like this instrument is definitely something that stands apart from other Kontakt libraries, and it is something that I think you're gonna have a lot of fun with. You have your shape knob, you have your wear knob, your phaser, and your reverb. Down here, you have a noise section, so you can add different types of noise, whether it be a synth noise, a deck, sound effects, a modular noise. You have vinyl noises over here, and you can adjust the amount. You have your low pass over here. You can tune the noise. So this whole section right here is for the noise. You have your flutter, your wear, your compression, tape gain, EQ low and EQ high, and you have a width knob right here, which is really cool to help you expand the sound that you're using or the preset that you're using, and you have your master out. Now all of these things down here work incredible as just standalone effects, but it works especially good in this instrument because this instrument caters heavily to lo-fi. So having things like flutter and wear and compression and noise is going to help take these sounds and really lo-fi it up. And it's just really dope. If you change the view over here, this just makes that page a little bit smaller and brings it to this corner right over here. And then it gives you all of these other tabs here to mess around with. You have everything like your filter here, and then you have these 4 effects boxes. So you have tape drive, you have notches, you have your reverb section, another reverb section. But as you can see, all of these different effect sections, you can change the effects. So regardless of what effects are already added to whatever preset you pick, you can click right here and go through the different effects and change that up in the effects section. So that's really cool. Down here, you have your envelopes, you have your modulation section. You can really create some amazingly unique sound textures when you dive in deep on this second page here. I love how simple the main page is, but I do love that they give you the option to dive in deeper. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna just go through some of these presets just so you can get an idea of what it is exactly that's happening in this thing. So we're gonna start with explorations. No, we're gonna start with keys. We're gonna go to the keys category and we're gonna go through some of the presets. Beautiful keys. And like I said before, you have 2 different sound banks here. So you can click on the A or the B and that'll mute that sound category for you. So right now I just have sound bank A playing. And this is what that sounds like. This one says sound 53 deck D. And when you listen to these sounds, you can hear the warmth and you can hear the tape. Like you can hear what's happening and you can see what's happening to the sample as you're playing it. So when you hit the key, this whole thing, this whole section right here is the entire sample, but you can start it from any part of the sample you want. And you can also turn up the randomizer. And every time you hit the key, it will start the sample at a different point. And then you can turn B on. You could change where you want B to start from. You could put the randomizer on. You can even change the sound. So like I said before, you can get complex tape loops. And the tape loops just give you really unique loops from cassette tape decks that were played out and recorded onto cassette tapes. You can hear it just by clicking this one key here. Really dope, really interesting. And because I have the randomizer on, it'll sound different every time. And then when I pair that up with Sound Bank A, super, super dope. And every single sound in this VST, in this contact library, if you will, sounds equally as unique as what I just played. We only went through one preset. I want you guys to understand that. This is one preset in the keys category of this sound library. In that one preset, we just changed it like 3 different times and made 3 different sounds with it. And we haven't even gone through the other presets yet. And you have a bunch of categories here to play with. We're gonna just play some of the presets in the keys for a second. Let's try some soft reverse. Beautiful. Turn up the randomizer. You could turn up the wear. Turn up the compression and flutter. We can go to almost organ. This is almost organ 1. We can go to the pads and drones category, play In the Clouds. Bro, come on, bro. This stuff sounds amazing. And like, as you can just hear with this one right here, this In the Clouds category, this is all stuff that, yeah, you could use it for lo-fi. You could use it at any genre of music you want to use it on. But stuff like this, stuff like that would sound great cinematically as well. So if you're working on an indie project or you're working on a major production, a major film, you could use stuff like that to score. And you can even change elements of this. So this says Tape Loop 283. I could change it to Tape Loop, let's see, let's change it to Tape Loop, I don't know, let's go back a few pages. Tape Loop 217, let's see what happens. Beautiful. We could go through more In the Clouds presets. Super cool. But I want to do something different, something that you don't hear in every single VST that you have. So we're going to go to the explorations category. And I'm actually going to turn the chords off now just so you can hear what these instruments sound like when they're not being played as chords. And this has a real 80s synth kind of sound to it. But like I said, because every one of these sounds were recorded through tape decks, it just warms and crushes the sound in a really beautiful way that sounds super retro, but very dope. I'm gonna turn the chords back on here. Random Pleasure 7. And then we can change this screen here. We can go to some of the effects and play around with some of the effects. So we can turn up the delay. Turn up the reverb. And that completely changes the sound. Listen to it now. As you can hear, everything sounds really cool, really dope, really unique, and we barely scratched the surface of the presets that they have in this thing. Now, we could be here all day going through presets, but what I want to do right now is jump right into the cookup. I want to show you guys what you can kind of do with this thing, and that it doesn't have to be a lo-fi beat or, you know, any specific genre. You can kind of create anything you want. Now, with this beat here that I had started making, originally I made the chord progressions to kind of be in an R&B-ish lo-fi kind of vibe, and I had added some hip-hop drums to them, some lo-fi hip-hop drums. And then I switched it around and I started adding some Afrobeat type, you know, reggae type drums to it. And I started feeling the vibe a little bit more. So this is something that went from a lo-fi beat and kind of started to change into an Afrobeat. And it still worked regardless of the drums. So this is definitely an instrument that you can use across different genres, and you don't have to feel pigeonholed into like working on a lo-fi beat when you're using this thing. And I'm going to show you just by playing this beat. Now, the beat is unfinished, but at least you can get an idea of some of what is happening. Now, I'm going to play the chords first. So these chords were created using Tape 1. And every single sound that you're about to hear in this beat was created using Tape 1, with the exception of the drums, and I think that's it. With the exception of the drums and maybe one of the bass lines, every other sound in this thing is a Tape 1 sound. Let's get Tape 1 up on the screen so it can shine a little bit. There we go. Let's get right into it. And that's it. That's the beat I made using Tape 1. Every other sound you heard in this thing came from Tape 1. And they really were not manipulated. I mean, as you can see down here in the track section, they really weren't manipulated with a whole bunch of effects or anything. It's largely empty. But as far as the effects go, it's mostly empty because I didn't need to add much to these sounds because the sounds already sounded really great. I'm really loving the sounds. Not only am I really loving the sounds that come out of the Thephonoloop's Tape 1 contact library, but I'm also discovering new things that I love about it on a daily basis because there's so many interesting things going on inside of this thing. I haven't even discovered everything yet, which is partially why it took me a while to bring this to the channel, because I really wanted to dive in deep and like explore the VST a little bit. And it's like every single time I thought I was ready to do the video for it, I found out something really cool. I didn't even know you can drag and drop your own samples until like 2 days ago. So like every single time I'm about to record, I find something new and cool that you could do with it. But yeah, I'm really loving this thing. I think this is something that you guys will love as well. So let me know down in the comments section, is Tape One something that seems like it's for you? Is something you're going to check out? Also, if you have any VSTs that you want me to check out and bring to this channel, please leave it down in the comment section and let me know what you want me to check out. I'm always looking for new VSTs and new plugins to shed some light on. And thank you guys for tuning in every week and checking out this content. If you're new to this channel and you haven't done so, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you can stay notified anytime I drop a new video. And I catch you guys on the next one.